Hey, welcome back to Mom and Jess Moment Talk Show, our wonderful and very special episode in the Youth Empowerment Series. This episode is actually a surprise for you all viewers, and hence we have decided to make it the last of all the episodes. Actually, we're focusing on teenagers, and the topic is entrepreneurial and leadership skill development for teenagers. We've been talking about the youth and setting goals and helping the youth and young adults. So I think to digress a bit, it's important to also focus on teenagers. It's important that teenagers are carried along in building up their entrepreneurial skills, and this will also help youth out there. Entrepreneurial skills, you don't get too old for it, but it's best to start from your childhood and teenage age. So today we're featuring Mrs. Madine Tyson, founder of Smart Teens. It's an online teenage program meant to empower teenagers, build their self-confidence, self-esteem, build their sense of managing themselves and entrepreneurial skills, and so many of it. So I'm sure she's going to say more about that. So if you're watching, just remember to subscribe for notification of subsequent episodes and videos, and then catch up with Mrs. Madine. I trust you will love this. Sit back, grab whatever you got, and join us in this interesting conversation. So, Mrs. Madine, you're welcome to Mom and Jess Moment Talk Show.
Thank you, and it's an absolute privilege to be here. Thank you for the invite.
We're happy to have you, and I'm sure the viewers can't wait for you to, speak and tell us more about Smart Teens. That being said, we would like you to introduce yourself properly to the viewers, if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Madine from Smart Teens, founder of Smart Teens, and we are fifth year, and we just love empowering teenagers, and we do it from the ages of 12 to 18. And what we try and do is do it through an experiential learning process, so they have fun while they're actually learning, and we make sure we activate their potential.
Wow, that's awesome. Nice to have you once again. So viewers, there you have it. If you've got teenagers, make sure they catch up on this episode. I believe you want to contact Mrs. Madine just right after this discussion. So once again, Ms. Madine, you're welcome. We just want to know a little bit based on our topic. We're focusing on entrepreneurial skills development and leadership. We're not sure where to start from, but I think we should throw more light on the leadership skills, which I feel is very essential. It's a core essential skill for teenagers. Jess, I'm sure you agree with me. Yeah. So what are the major attributes of leadership, like leadership skills? What competencies do you derive from such leadership skills?
Something that Michael, one of our facilitators, told me or shares with us is that, in fact it was actually merit, is that if you are not a good follower, you can't be a good leader.
Wow.
Because you actually need to know when to step down, because if it's a whole room of followers, and it actually it happened when he was doing the plane build with Megan, where they built a plane for a four-seater plane, and 20 teenagers took it, built it in 3 weeks, and then flew it from Cape to Cairo. And during that process, they had chosen 20 top leaders.
Wow.
To do it. So in that process, you would need to know when to actually step back and be a follower. So I think that's one of the major attributes is, as a leader, know when to follow and when to step up and lead.
Wow. So why is it important for teenagers to develop these leadership skills? Why do you think?
It's absolutely critical, because if they don't understand about leadership, they can't go forward. They can't lead their environment, their community, and eventually when they leave school, their work colleagues. So as a leader, you open doors for yourself and for your community.
Awesome. Jess, do you have anything to contribute regarding leadership or ask questions?
Well, guys, I'm really excited about Smart Teens because me and my mom and I have actually been talking about it and me joining it, and I feel that it will be very good for me since this YouTube channel thing. So I feel that it's very good to start, and I feel that if you're a parent, you should totally join your teen into this program if possible. And yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Okay. No, I just wanted to come back to something. I believe that there are some teenagers that actually are challenged with, self-esteem and lack of confidence. This challenge, how do you think you can assist as a founder of Smart Team? How could you assist teenagers that are faced with such kind of issues?
You know what, before I answer the question, I'm just going to quickly tell you about what Smart Teams is about in
Okay.
terms of the acronym, because that will also help you to understand
Absolutely.
my answer.
Absolutely.
So if you look at Smart Teams, you've got the word SMART, and the word S stands for skills. So what we try and do is we teach them various skills, one of them being leadership, public speaking, entrepreneurship, etc. The M stands for mindful. We try and get them into the space of being from negative into positive,
Wow.
and we use different processes to get their mindsets where they need to go to. The A stands for alignment, because if you are not aligned with your God, within yourself and with others, your life is quite miserable. So when you are aligned up, down and in, you are a happier person, and then your environment becomes a happier person.
Interesting.
And then the R stands for rooted. And it's like that big old oak tree by a river. It's got this massive, big base, but it's because it's got a good foundation. And if you've got a good foundation and you're rooted in who you are, where you're going, then your life becomes a playground, so to speak. And then the T stands for thankful.
Oh.
You know what? During this COVID-19, it has been a challenge for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that came across is to be thankful every day, because as you wake up in the morning,
When you're alive.
you're alive. You're breathing. Because a lot of us don't wake up the next morning. So that's what Smart Teams actually stood for. The SMART was acronyms of the various things that we teach,
Wow.
which is the leadership, the entrepreneurship, the self,
everything.
everything encompassed in that.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that very beautiful definition of smart. I actually thought it meant being smart or something of that
Well,
sort.
that too.
So viewers, I hope you're connecting with Mrs. Madine. Smart, it means a lot. Skills and all of it. I bet you, I've watched quite a number of videos of students that were attesting to their benefits and the gains, from this program. I believe that you should, if you've got a teenager, try it, because this will help them a lot in the future. With the 21st century, the way we're moving, I believe that there'll be more online and more public speaking, and it goes beyond you just being intellectually high up there. There's a lot, and that's what Madine is all about, the Smart Team program. So that being said, Mrs. Madine, let's come back home again. I would like to digress a bit to entrepreneurship. So the essence of entrepreneurship, what's the importance?
The importance of entrepreneurship, or the main benefit of entrepreneurship, is that you'll be able to eat. Because if you don't know how to be an entrepreneur and you can't sell, you're going to starve.
Wow.
And Barry Mitchell, one of our companies that we like to refer people to, talks exactly about that. You don't know how to sell, you can't eat. And part of entrepreneurship is the ability to be able to market yourself, to sell. So that is a huge aspect to consider when you're looking at attributes of entrepreneurship.
Wow. Okay, so that being said, why is it important for teenagers to be engaged in entrepreneurship?
Because the life has changed.
Okay.
Our world has changed, guys. In terms of COVID-19, all it's done is it's just emphasized that we're all going online, that jobs are not going to be freely available. A lot of us are losing our jobs. So if you as a teenager and as a young person out there is not preparing your life to be an entrepreneur, even within a company, when you are in a job, you're going to lose out, because jobs are changing. They're going to look for the person that's got the best skill. They're going to look for the person that has got the most experience, that's well balanced. So you better know about entrepreneurship if you intend to make it on this planet in the future.
So it means that besides even being in the corporate world, you're more of an advantage when you've got this entrepreneurial skills.
Absolutely, because you can also design your life.
Absolutely.
as an entrepreneur. Where do you want to be? Which company do you want to go to? And you find your place in the sun. And that's what it is. That's what entrepreneurship helps you to do.
Awesome. Okay, that being said, speaking about skills, which you mentioned, can we talk about the major entrepreneurial skills, like, for teenagers, as we are focusing on teenagers? What entrepreneurial skills are they meant to gain from attending a smart online program?
Definitely to be a self-starter. Because if you don't know how to get out of bed, it's easy to lie in bed and procrastinate and think, I'll do it tomorrow. So if you're not a self-starter, you're going to suffer and you're not going to eat. That's one thing. You need to be disciplined to get out of bed, okay? To be able to do what you're selling or what you're marketing. The other thing that you need to do is to be multi-skilled. So the reason why I say multi-skilled is because you need to know how to market. Is it Facebook that you need to do? Is it door-to-door selling? Is it Instagram? Is it online marketing? So you need to be multi-skilled. You need to know how to do accounts. You need to know how to do admin. You need to know how to market yourself. So multi-skilled is definitely one of those things.
Absolutely.
But to be a self-starter, the secret is to find your place in the sun. In other words, find what you love to do. And when you find what you love to do, it's easy to be disciplined. It's easy to be a self-starter. And that's the secret of being an entrepreneur.
Wow, I love that. Especially being passionate.
Absolutely.
Being passionate about what you do. You wake up
Absolutely.
and you're ready to hit the road because this is what you're passionate. That being said, just what do you have to say about?
Well, I actually do have a question for you. So, I remember those days where it came to orals in front of the class, and I used to freak out because I did not like orals at all. Because the whole class is staring at you, and sometimes you just have that moment where your mind just goes blank and you don't remember anything. So I just want to ask, how do you solve that or construct with that?
Jess, you've heard, it might be before your time, but have you heard of a man called Gary Player?
No.
Okay, Gary Player is one of the top golfers on the planet, as a South African. And he used to say, practice makes perfect.
True.
So if you do not practice to be in front of a crowd, you're going to perspire, you're going to lose your words, you're going to do the ums, you're going to do all the things that you shouldn't do. So the more that you practice and get in front of an audience, a camera, a radio interview, for example, the better you become. So practice makes perfect.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Madine. I don't want us to say so much again about entrepreneurial skills because we've talked about that. But I just wanted to understand, with schools, I know that schools do some sort of passive learning on entrepreneurship, teaching the basics. So, but why do you think it's important, for schools, to make this a core study inculcate it in their programs, like entrepreneurship skills or entrepreneurship as a core study? Why do you think it's important?
Well, it's absolutely critical because it's actually a life skill.
Okay.
Now, schools, what Smart Teens has actually done is they've come in between schools, teenagers, and parents,
Yeah.
and bridged the gap.
Okay.
So what the schools are not teaching and not in their curriculum, because they can only do so much. And I love teachers, and they get underpaid. They should be paid much more than they're doing.
Absolutely.
But unfortunate, because you know what? Think about it. They are spending more time with your teenager or your child, for that matter, than you as a parent. So they have got such amazing ability to direct your child into the future. They can either break it or they can make him. So they've got a challenge in terms of getting through a curriculum. And obviously governments have put in certain things that they need to learn from entrepreneurship, and all we do is we supplement that. So we bridge that gap of what they can't get through. You were, just before we started, you were mentioning the youth markets that you do at schools, and a lot of schools do that. They do the youth market, which is fantastic. So what Smart Teens does is we take it one level besides that. So you've got your normal market day that you have maybe once a year, if you're lucky, twice a year. But who buys from you? Your teachers, your friends, and your parents. So what we've decided to do is that we go out of the environment and we created, we've done about 4 or 5 in the last 2 years,
Wow.
where they do youth markets. And we create youth markets where only the youth sell. But then we created the market where the youth sell with the normal vendors. Now it's a stranger coming up, and you better know how to greet that stranger, and you better know how to be able to sell your product. Okay, it's not just your friend or your family member, etc. So we give them that opportunity to be able to practice. Makes perfect.
Wow.
By bringing in those youth markets into an environment, whether it be at a school, because we've held it at schools, or we held it at your local parks,
Community
or community centres, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And it's done extremely well. It gives them practice and gives them the feel of what it's like, because they need it in these competitions. They need to be able to bring what they're selling, their gazebos and their goodies and their flyers or their posters or whatever. So that teaches them how to prepare, set up, go through the grueling day, and normally it's a whole day and it's tiring, and you've got to stand on your feet and then pack up and you're exhausted, and then find out what you actually made in terms of
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, did you make any profit or did you make a loss?
Wow,
or
Mrs. Madine, that's very impressive. I'm highly impressed to hear that. I believe that schools should do this more often, you know.
I agree.
Because besides the fact that we wish our children should do this or that, become doctors and all of that, this is just like an advantage or an added benefit. So I'm sure viewers watching, you've heard all we have to say about leadership and entrepreneurship development for teenagers. Mrs. Madine, thank you so much. I just wanted to wrap up our discussion by, speaking to the viewers, suggesting the need for the smart things for the teenagers, and then, just giving them drop a word of advice or recommendations.
Sure. What I'd like to just suggest is go onto our website, which is www.smartteens.co.za, and go and have a look and see what we can actually offer your teens. We are currently doing free sponsorship courses until the end of the year, especially for youth centres. So if you'd like to get, and you can't afford for your child to be sponsored, please come and see us. Write us. Get onto our website, WhatsApp me. We would love to be able to assist your children. We realize that we've got certain skills that we want to impart onto our youth, and we would like to do it online, because obviously that's the way it's running at the moment. We used to do it beforehand. In fact, thank you to COVID, because it forced us to go online. And now we don't just do it here in South Africa or just Durban. We're now in Nigeria, we're in Texas, Canada, UK.
Wow.
So it's opened a whole field for us, a globe for us, absolutely. So go onto our website, go and look and see what we do. If you would like to sponsor a teenager, please go ahead and either book a certain amount or a certain course. And if you'd like to be in touch with that teenager, we would do the same thing. We'd be able to put you in touch. Obviously, there's rules and regulations that need to be abided by, and you could be somebody that could empower the teens while sponsoring them as well, called the mentorship program that we are actually busy developing at the moment. And the one thing I'd like to say is that get onto the courses and do that. Right now we're doing 6 processes, so it's for the learning, because of what just happened with COVID-19. The kids are stressed, they're anxious, they're not sure if they're going to get through the whole year. So we do what they call exam skills, study skills, listening skills, one of the best life skill you can actually have, managing procrastination, and the power of vision. So we know if you find what your passion is, you can then get to where you need to go to, and things like mastering entrepreneurship or mastering money. So we put a whole program together, which is between 5 to 6.
Of all of them.
Correct. That you can at least start with, and there are many other programs that you can actually join us.
Awesome.
So what I'd like to just say to you is very simple: dig deep, find what your passion is, and once you find what you love to do, go and learn how to do it effectively. That's why we bring in the learning process. And once you know how to do it effectively, become the expert. And then the world is your oyster.
Wow. I'm blown away, guys. I'm sure you are too. Thank you so much, Mrs. Madine. I'm sure we'll hear from you some other time again. Viewers, I'm sure you also enjoyed this. Subscribe and see you next episode.
Bye.